Ratios are a huge standard in sixth grade and seventh grade mathematics. And we start talking about ratios in sixth grade and how to write them and how to do some basic problem solving with them. So this starts off our ratio unit. And ratios are a way to compare two or more quantities. So if I wanted to compare boys versus girls in the classroom, or how many people wear glasses versus not glasses, or how many kids are in the sixth grade versus the seventh grade. I can do a whole bunch of different things with ratios. So there are three ways that we see ratios written in mathematics. And the first way is using a colon. We will see this way a lot. So if I have two quantities, we'll say X and Y. We could say X is girls, Y is boys. So X to Y, and that's how we say it. We use the word two when we see this colon. We also see it written as a fraction, X to Y. So same thing, think of a fraction. If I have 3/4 of a pie, that means I have 3 out of 4 pieces, and that's a ratio. So we can write it as a fraction. The other way is just with plain old words, the word two. So X to Y. All right, where X is all one number and Y is another number for a quantity that we are using. Let's look at examples on how to write our ratios and with these three shapes that I have drawn on the board. All right, so I have 3 squares, 4 stars, and 2 circles. Now, when dealing with ratios, however it's written in the form, it matters. Order matters. So if I have squares to stars, then I need to make sure that I have my squares number first. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 because that's how many squares I have. 2 stars is 4. So that's the first way that I can write my ratio. So, and then I remember I can write it with a colon, 3 to 4, and I can also write it as 3 to 4. And since it's a ratio, we don't say 3/4. We say 3 to 4. All right. If I want to go circles to stars, well, circles is written first, so I need to have the number for circles written down. So 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put the number 2. So 2 to 4. I can put 2 to 4 with a colon, or 2 to 4 as a fraction. Remember, we don't say 2/4. When you're dealing with ratios, you can make an equivalent ratio, which we're going to talk about next. And I can say 1 to 2. So some of us might notice that I can reduce that a little bit. For every 1 circle, I have 2 stars. So, but that's going to come in our next lesson. But you're welcome to write it that way as well. Squares to the total. So if I want the total, then I'm going to think, how many total do I have? I have 3, 4, and 2, which make a total of 9. So my squares is 3. So 3 to 9, or 3 colon 9. I still say 3 to 9. Tilt that a little bit more. And 3 to 9 as a fraction. So I can write it that way as well if I wish to. And some of us might notice that 3 and 9 are common factors. So I can put that as 1 to 3, 1 to 3, and 1 to 3, and put that in lowest terms. Here we have a ratio word problem where we're comparing part to whole and part to total. So here's our example. Mark spent $20 where he got some candy and $13 in ice cream. What is the ratio that Mark spent in ice cream to candy? So in this problem, we're asking about the ice cream cost to the candy cost. Okay, so if I'm looking at my word problem, I know that he spent $13 on ice cream. So $13 is my ice cream price. Now, do I know how much he spent in candy? It doesn't tell me. It says he got some candy, but we know that Mark spent altogether $20. So if I do 20 minus 13, what I spent in ice cream, I know that Mark spent $7 in candy. So now I can take my ratio and write it down in my form. So we want to know what the ratio that Mark spent in ice cream to candy. So ice cream needs to go first. So I'm going to go ahead and use my colon, $13 to $7. So that is what Mark spent in ice cream to candy when he went to the store.